Hey everyone, VH here. Thank you so much for joining me today. Strange episode, strange upload. It's to do with the event, which I know that a lot of people suffered with a little bit. Obviously, we're putting everything in context. It's a mobile game, right? But it is like incredibly frustrating, and a few other things have come out since I've done my video on Friday night. So I've no way of getting in contact with MK, and I'm sure he has no idea who I am, so he'll just ignore the message anyway. But I'm going to play like a minute-long clip from his stream that he done at the weekend.
I've seen a lot of people getting themselves into a mess because they've been sending themselves to the wrong island. You can see here, if I did order 5, it would actually deliver to the Cave of Ghost. We don't want to push to that one. We want to push to the Miasma Maya. You want to do them one island at a time. So if you can, batch deliver to the place that you want to go. And you can see that's just done all these ones. And there is no Miasma Maya on the panel. The batch delivery stopped. Wait, what? Hang on. Are you telling me that it's absolutely possible to not be able to make any progress and just get stuck and all your resources get wasted? What?
Right, and so there you go. You've seen it there. I was told about that on Saturday. I don't watch streams. I didn't know about it. I actually didn't get told it was MK's. Other people had said it happened to them. And do you know what, right? When they first said it to me, I don't think people lie, but I thought, oh, maybe they've got confused. Maybe they've got it wrong. Because I thought there's no way that DH Games would do that, would make an event where you couldn't progress in it. Like in the, 9 years the game's been around, there's never been an event like that. So I thought they're not just going to start now. And then someone said it happened on his stream, so I went and checked it out and found it. And I just couldn't believe that was a part of the game. I think what annoys me on a personal level is that I've always backed free-to-play games. Because even though you could argue they're predatory, you know what you're getting into. No game is truly free-to-play in the sense that you get the whole experience by paying nothing. Because obviously what would be the point in the game, right? There's always something there. And so when you play a game like Idle Heroes, you know very quickly that there's pay to win elements. They've done a phenomenal job the last couple of years of making it very free to play friendly, to the point that you can get to the latter part of mid game and even late game being a free to play player. Admittedly, getting right to the top just isn't going to happen, but you can get a vast majority of the way there. So props to them. I had a video that was going out on Friday that was going to say how happy I was. And then this happened and I was like, no, I can't release that now. Because this is so anti new player and free to play. And like the player base isn't big enough to just get rid of players that like the game over something like this. Because those of you that think as well that I'm exaggerating, believe me, right, I am absolutely not. If players have played the game for a month and they've got involved with the community, right, and they're looking at YouTube and Discord and Reddit, and they're following the way they're supposed to play and they're doing everything the proper way, and then their first big event comes around and this happens, that would make me want to quit. Like, honestly, it would make me want to quit. I just would think, what's the point? Especially when you get your hopes up, you're like, well, I'm going to get this or I'm going to get that. And it's like, no. No 2.5 million Stellar for you. No artifact for you. You're going to get nothing. And there have been... I think what frustrates me, the community side of this, is no matter what platform you go to, there's people that they're not sticking up for DH Games. They couldn't care less about DH Games. But they're like ragging on the players that have suffered through this. And I just don't get that. I don't understand why. And the the main reason for that is it stops people speaking up, right? Because you get people comment and they say, oh, I've got caught out here or here or here. And you get someone else comment, well, don't be an idiot, read it. And it's like, that is so unhelpful, and that makes other people not want to come forward and say, I've had an issue too. So unlike the Destiny Page of Destiny event like 2 months ago, where within 2 days they rolled back on it immediately because all the whales were annoyed. And the thing is, right, when the whales get annoyed, no one seems to chat back to them. So the whales get annoyed about it, they complain, DH Games like, we messed up, have all this extra stuff. But because this hasn't affected the whales, this has only affected like the newer players and earlier free-to-play players, no one seems to care. And I just find that fascinating. Like, I really, really do. And I don't know if any of you are old enough to like go out to eat. I don't mean that in a patronising way. What I mean is like go out to a proper restaurant on your own without your parents, right? But when you're old like me and you go and do something like that, if you go out and there's 2 restaurants and they both look really nice, you know, you'd happily go to either one of them. But one restaurant is full and the other one has like 1 dude at a table. You go to the full restaurant, yeah? Because you think, well, it's got to be better. And that's the way that I feel with Idle Heroes. The free-to-play players are crucial to building out the player base and building out the online community. I mean, look at Clash Royale, right? Clash Royale, a game I've played for years, was slowly dying. And then you've got Jinxie playing it. I don't even know who Jinxie is. I've seen the name, but Jinxie's playing it. And all of a sudden, like, the player count has skyrocketed. And that's because if you've got an online space where there's a community, etc., it builds so much better, where people can come together. And a lot of those players are free-to-play players. There's not enough whales to form a proper community. It doesn't work like that. And then the other major issue with Idle Heroes is new players. So the whole reason I started this was to do like player guides and stuff like that, because it is so overwhelming for newer players. It's why I do the event reviews, like a proper free-to-play friendly event reviews with no contract starry gems. And I do like whatever the minimum threshold to get rewards is, I show you the path for that. Because I think it's so important. It's easy enough to attract players to a game, like loads of people, because it's free to play, loads of people will install it, but how many people do you get that last past a day? And out of them players, how many people last a week? It's not many. And so if this was their first major event, and you've just killed any enthusiasm for the game, and they just leave and go to another game. And so yeah, they might not be taking money with them, but they're taking themselves, they're taking a potential future player, someone who might end up spending money, someone who might become a really important member of the community, and they're just leaving. And you need new players to come through, right? You can't just rely on the existing player base, because they eventually fade out. Everyone does. Even the most whaley of whales will eventually stop playing this game and move on. And if you don't think this is a big issue, because it's only affected a certain amount of the player base, let me tell you now, right? And this isn't a slippery slope fallacy, right? This is a actual genuine slippery slope. Because you think if they get away with doing this and RNGing it, and they've done it to encourage people to go out and spend money, more money, they will do it again, and they will start doing it on a larger scale, and you have to start spending more money and more money and more money. So I think it's really important to like nip it in the bud now. So yeah, it's vital. And so as I said, if you're one of the, and I believe in critical thinking, right? Which is why this annoys me. Even though this doesn't affect me, it annoys me, because you try and looking towards the future, right? And that's like the biggest thing, is getting new players in and keep them playing and keeping them free to play so we can make that big player base. If you're someone that's sitting there and you want to go on Reddit and you want to go on the Discord and just mug people off because they've got conned, which effectively is out of rewards, and saying, oh, you should read better. Like, please just think before you speak. Like, if you don't care about the game, then get off of there. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing here on a YouTube video about this if you don't care about the game? And if you do care about the game, don't rag on people for getting mugged off by DH Games. It's so wrong. Like, you should be supportive with it. Everyone should be on the same page here. And I'm the first one, as I said, to stick up for game devs and things like that, because I think the player base, not this player base in general, but just in general, they don't really help themselves out 95% of the time. Like, that's just the way that it happens. And a lot of the complaints I see over games I've played over the years, I've often thought it's just a bit of a it's a bit of a weird thing to complain about. But I keep my mouth shut because ultimately, if they're not happy, then they're not happy. Like, there's no point dogpiling in, is there? So try and be supportive with it. Let's try and actually get them to see that it's more than just a few people, because I know it is. And the silent majority, which aren't on here, yeah, which aren't on YouTube and Discord and Idle and Reddit, would also have been affected by this. So it's not just the people complaining here, it's the people that don't even come here to consume this kind of content. So it is going to be bigger than we realise, like, and it's going to get worse and worse. And finally, right, I fully understand there's so many wrong things in the world, and I'm complaining about mopeds being wasted on a free-to-play idle game. So I understand in the grand context of everything, this doesn't mean an awful lot, but we have to have something to be passionate about. So again, let's just bear that in mind, right? So anyone else that's had any negative experience, put it down below. Let's try and keep it friendly. Like, I could delete comments, but I'm not going to delete comments. Let's just not be idiots about it. But yeah, if you're still watching and listening, obviously I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Stay safe. VH out.